Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another episode of My Lemonade Life. And tonight we are going to do an episode that we're going to call Cooking with Grandma. This is my granddaughter, and she is learning how to cook, and she loves it. So she's also very hungry, and so I told her we'd try and hurry. So we're going to try and do a quick little dinner tonight. We are going to do a chicken penne pasta bake. And it's a casserole style, so it's quick and easy. We have just a few ingredients that we have to add and put together, and it should be delicious when we're finished. Okay, we're gonna start off with a 9x13 greased casserole. And the first thing I'm gonna do is put spinach in the bottom of this. And it's just raw spinach. And the reason I'm doing it this way is if anybody doesn't like spinach, they can pick the top layer off and not eat the spinach. And that's how I did things when I was raising my family. This will cook down to just about nothing. So I just added, it's about one bunch of rinsed and trimmed spinach. We're gonna use garlic in this recipe. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna get up close and personal with these. This is a clove of garlic. It's the little tiny piece. Let's get up close so you can see. It's the little tiny piece. When they're attached and they have this bottom right here, then that is the head. Now, when you have a clove of garlic and it's fresh garlic, sometimes you have to peel it. So I have this little trick that I use to peel. I don't know where I got this little gadget, but I love it. So I cut off the kind of the blossom end, and if you want to call it that, the end that's attached to the head. And sometimes you can just strip it right down. And sometimes they're a little bit more difficult to get the peel off. So there's just like this little papery peel on the garlic. And I got this little gadget. I don't know where I got it. It's this little rubber thing, and you just go like this, and it peels that papery stuff right off the clove of garlic. So the way we are going to use this garlic mincer is it has holes. You can see that it has holes there. So we're going to put the piece of garlic in here, and then we're just going to pull this down over the top, and it is going to mince the garlic. This is going to call for 2 cloves of garlic. So again, this is the clove, and it's peeled. We're going to put it in like this. And then, yeah, actually, Nora, why don't you come and hold this like right here while I mince it, okay? She's such a good helper. And then you just squeeze this. Let's see how much strength I have today. And I use fresh garlic whenever possible. You can use the kind you buy at the store that's already done. Okay, we're gonna do, this calls for 2, well, it calls for 2, but I think we're gonna do 3 because we like garlic, right? Okay, don't touch it or your hands will smell like it for days. Okay, so we're gonna squeeze this other one. You guys, I need to go to the gym. When mincing the garlic is difficult, you need to go to the gym, right? Okay, that's just me. Okay, this is the third one. So this is what it looks like when it's minced. This is our minced garlic. Okay, so now, before we go too much farther, we are going to put our pasta into boil. You guys, I'm gonna move my camera so that we're a little bit closer to the stove, but before we go, I want you to see this pot. I have one of these clear glass pots, and a few years ago, my son gave it to me, and I was a little bit nervous to use it, and tonight is the first time I've used it actually, because it's glass and I have a gas stove. So I was afraid to use it because I was afraid it would break, and I was afraid of all the things that could happen. And so I've not ever used it. So tonight's the first night, but it is, I put it on a diffuser so that it would keep the heat more evenly distributed, so it wouldn't be like, you know, I kind of envision Pyrex when it goes on the stove. So I just wanted to make sure that we're good there. But I have to tell you a funny story about this this pot. It's actually called a pasta pot, and it's a glass pasta pot. And when he gave it to me, I looked it up on Amazon, and I was like, oh my gosh, this must be the newest, latest, greatest thing, you know? And then I called him and I said, thank you so much for the glass pot. And he goes, what glass pot? And at the time, he was taking a little bit of Ambien to help him sleep at night. And so he bought it, and he didn't know he bought it, and he had it sent to me, and he didn't know he had it sent to me, but it's a lovely gift, and I am going to enjoy it. But tell us in the comments, have you ever bought something when you're on Ambien? I've been in retail for a long time online, and I've had a lot of Ambien shoppers. So I know they're out there. I know he's not the only one. I know it's kind of a common thing. But if you have a funny Ambien shopping story, let us know. Okay. Now I'm going to move the camera over to the stove, and we are going to do most of everything else over there. Okay, so we just dumped the pasta in, and giving it a little stir. I poured a little bit of olive oil into it to keep it from sticking. And now I'm going to heat up my skillet, and we're going to put a couple tablespoons of butter.
Can I do some of this part?
Yeah. And then Nora's going to dump some oil in there. Go ahead and dump the whole thing. And we're going to let that melt a little bit and heat up. I love the flavor of butter, but when you add a little bit of oil, it keeps the butter from burning. I guess if you crank it really high, it'll burn. So I've got this on a medium high heat. I do have a gas stove, and so it heats up pretty good. So I've got the butter and the oil heating, and we are going to put the garlic in there in just a second, and I'm going to let Nora saute the garlic. Okay. Go ahead and scoop all of that into, into there. Be careful when you put it in gently so you don't splash and burn yourself or anything. Okay, and scoop it all. We want all that good, yummy garlic flavor. Okay, we've got a long wooden handle spatula here, and we're just gonna saute it for a couple of minutes until it's kind of soft. Do you want to do that? Mm-hmm. Okay. The lower you cook garlic, the better. It keeps it from turning bitter. You don't want to overcook garlic or cook it too high, or it turns bitter. So I've turned my heat down now. Ooh, I can smell it. I've turned my heat down now to almost like a medium-low. And we're just going to saute that a little bit. We're going to check our pasta. Make sure it's not sticking. It's kind of funny that it's kind of sitting on the bottom. I've never noticed that when I've cooked it in a regular pan. Okay, so that is what we've got going on now. I'm going to open the tomatoes. You guys, we've got a couple of cans of Italian seasoned diced tomatoes. You can use any brand. And the recipe will be in the bottom, down below. Okay. Okay, so that garlic is probably nice and soft. Looks really good. You can see how the butter is bubbling and not burning, and it's because we have oil in it too. Okay. Do you want to stir that just a little bit more, Nora? Okay, so we're going to add a couple of cans. Whoops, we don't want it to turn brown. So there we go. We are done with that part.
Pasta?
Yeah, just a second. So we're going to add a couple of cups of chicken. You guys can use rotisserie chicken. I have canned chicken. I can chicken all the time, and so I do have canned chicken. I just use a pint of the chicken that I've canned because it's always in my pantry. You can use canned chicken from Costco or the grocery store or anywhere else if you want to. And we're just going to stir this around a little bit to get it warm. And that garlic goes really fast, you guys. I may have gotten it a little hot here, so just keep an eye on that. Then we're going to stir in a couple of cans of the diced tomatoes. We're going to stir that up a little bit. Yep. And I love how she's motivated on her own and she doesn't need me to tell her what to do. It's awesome. Okay, let's see how this is going over here. I need that to boil a little bit more. Okay, so we're going to cook that a little bit. Okay, I'm going to add some seasonings now. This is some red pepper.
Can I do it?
Yep, some red pepper, some regular salt, and some black pepper. Red pepper flakes. So we're going to toss those in there. Okay, stir it up. I thought this was going to be a big enough pan, but it's looking small. Okay, so we're going to just let that sit for a minute. Okay, we're going to let these flavors kind of come together while we're waiting for the pasta. We're going to preheat our oven to 350. We're going to squeeze in the juice of a half of lemon. Nora wants to do this one, so here we go. Let's see how her muscles are compared to mine. That is a nice juicy lemon. Nora started a long time ago saying, Grandma's food's always better because it's cooked with love. And that is so true. I do cook with love. I love to cook, but I also love to see their expression when they eat. It's just a couple more minutes. And I think what we're going to serve with this tonight is a Caesar salad and maybe a piece of garlic toast. I think that would be delicious.
And croutons.
And croutons. Okay, so let's drain these. You guys, I know we're not supposed to rinse pasta. I generally do. Tell me in the comments, do you rinse your pasta or no? I would love to hear. And I would love to hear why or why not. Jump down to those comments and let me know. All right, so we are, yay, not one single drop missed. So we have our dish ready. Thank you, Nora. You guys, one of my friends just messaged me and said, how's that nice warm Arizona working for you? It's a cool day today. It's only 115. Anyway, okay. Shout out to my friend Dave in Salt Lake, where he's, I'm sure, enjoying his nice, cool mountain weather. So the best part for me and for Nora, evidently, is what?
Sprinkling Parmesan cheese. A ton of Parmesan cheese.
Okay, let's do a ton of mozzarella first. Okay, so you guys, you can use fresh mozzarella. You can grate your own. I like Tillamook in the bag. It doesn't feel processed. It doesn't taste processed. So that is my favorite brand. So I am going to put this on first. And I'm going to use 2 cups because I do love cheese. If you don't like cheese that much, when I make food for my mom, speaking of which, she doesn't eat cheese, and so usually, and she doesn't eat much. So usually I take a little ramekin like this, and I put it in the corner to cover it up so it doesn't get the cheese. And then that way, they live down the street and we share. I feed them frequently. When I cook, I invite them. When they go out, they invite me. So it's the best of both worlds. Okay, now Nora, over here nibbling like a little mouse on the cheese, is going to put the Parmesan on the top. Perfect. Awesome. We're going to toss this in the oven and we're going to bake it for about 30 minutes until the cheese is bubbly and it just starts to get golden and crusty around the outside. So we're going to stick it in the oven and then we'll come back and we'll have a taste. Okay, we just pulled it out of the oven and it is sizzling. Cheese is melted, it's golden around the edges. Now remember, if you stir the spinach into it, it'll probably be a little bit moister, but it is moist at the bottom because the spinach is down there. Now we're going to put a little sprinkle of basil.
Can we leave a little spot for me?
Yes, except for the spot that Nora's going to eat. So we probably don't need that much, but just half of it. So she's going to sprinkle some fresh basil from the garden over the top. Okay. Yummy. Okay, should we have Nora do a taste test? Is it good? Okay, Grandma's going to taste a whole bite. All right, I ended up with just noodles too. It's so delicious. Okay, it might be dinner time. If you try this at home and you love it, go ahead and comment and tell us how you feel about it. Like and subscribe and do all the things, and we will see you again next time. Remember, there's that little bit of red hot pepper in here. It's not super hot, but it just kind of gives you a little bit of a kick. All right, you guys, see you next time. Take care. Have a good rest of your day. Just for the record, Nora came back for more. She gave it the 2 thumbs up now that she's tasted it. Okay, my friends, if you have loved this video, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe, and also hit the bell notifications so that you will find out when we post a new video. See you next time.